Batman is without a doubt the greatest superhero to ever exist. And he's not bound to one reality. Whether it be an Elseworld storyline, DC Black Label, Tangent Comics, a hybrid universe, an adaptation, or an imaginary story, Batman, well, for him it's clear that for the Dark Knight, one universe is not enough, as there are variants of him all over DC's infinitely growing multiverse. And in this video, I will be giving you my top 10 list of DC Comics fans who draw alternate universe versions of Batman. Some do actual versions from alternate universe stories. Some create their own. But either way, they are fans of both the world's greatest superhero, the Dark Knight himself, as well as the DC multiverse. So now let's start with number 10. Ninja Inc. He has 5.5k watchers, 700 deviations, and 440k profile views. Coming to us from Argentina is So El Major 999 with 1k watchers, 356 deviations, and 67.3k profile views. Mentally. I butchered that. He has 632 watchers, 328 deviations, and 68.3K profile views. Coming to us from Norway is Scurvy Pirate Hog with 1.1K watchers, 4.2K deviations, and 413.6K profile views. RCK Films. He has 297 watchers, 348 deviations, and 44.9K profile views. Perkins. He has 8.1k watchers, 959 deviations, and 477k profile views. My number 4 choice for this list used his real name as his screen name, and I'm not going to say it out of respect for his anonymity, but he has 2.7k watchers, 2.1k deviations, and 214.2k profile views. James Bing Daddy. He has 776 watchers, 636 deviations, and 46.5k page views.
Is famous on many levels and for various reasons, both for good reasons and bad reasons. One of the legendary tales of Gotham City is the rivalry between Batman and the Joker. However, this isn't going to be the exact same tales, for in this universe, there are going to be some changes, and they start with the Joker across the many possibilities of the multiverse. Here the Joker is a woman, as beautiful as she is crazy. Which is why she is at this moment in Arkham Asylum, a place where the mentally sick can receive help. The Joker was a constant headache for Dr. Jeremiah Arkham, who owns the asylum. When the Joker was at the asylum, no progress was ever made. Most of the staff are too afraid to approach her, and the ones who do approach typically wind up dead. Joker, however, was growing bored and needed some new fun. That opportunity came when a new psychiatrist was transferred to Arkham. His name is Dr. Harvey Kingston, a recent graduate and at the top of his class. Dr. Arkham had high hopes for Harvey, and so he assigned him to treat the Joker. Dr. Arkham, well, 2 rooms down is where you will find her. Now remember Dr. Kingston, she is one of the most dangerous inmates in this asylum. Dr. Kingston, I'm quite familiar with what she's done to her other doctors. I assure you I'll be cautious. Dr. Arkham, be sure that you do. Well, I turn it over to you then, and I want a report by the end of the day. Dr. Kingston left his side and walked right up to Joker's room. He peered cautiously through the circular window, so that doctors and guards could look in on inmates safely. Her back was turned and was sitting at a table with a deck of cards. She was playing a game unknown to him. Just as he was about to introduce himself, she spoke. Joker, good afternoon, Doc. Your footsteps are unknown to me. Are you to be my new therapist? Dr. Kingston, my name is Dr. Kingston. Dr. Arkham has asked me to look into your case. Joker had heard that before. She turned to look at him. After seeing him, she was struck with an idea and thought that showed on her face, except that Dr. Kingston would come to misunderstand the meaning of that expression. Joker smiled sweetly at him. You're a handsome one, aren't you? Joker was a very beautiful woman that could not be denied. So naturally his cheeks burned a bit, but he was a professional with a straight face. Dr. Kingston replied, Thank you. Joker, my pleasure, I assure you. She gave him a flirty wink. Dr. Kingston, our first session is going to be on Friday. This will take place in a secure no-contact room. I'm inviting you to be open with me. You may not believe it, but I do want to help you. I'll see you in a few days. The next day, when Dr. Kingston arrived in his new office and was startled to find a bottle of cherry cola. This happened to be his favorite beverage, but he didn't put it here. He found a note attached to it. Welcome to Arkham, sweetie. XOXO Joker. How had he was going to get to the bottom of this? He found her still in her room. Joker, why doctor, you're a day early, are you not? He held up the note. Dr. Kingston, I would like to know how you got this in my office and how you know about the soda. Joker smiled innocently. Joker, I'm sure, if you ask security they will find I wasn't here all night. Dr. Kingston, Joker, what did I say about being honest with me? I'm not here to get you in trouble, I'm here to help. Obviously you managed to get out. This also tells that you're very resourceful and clever. Not a lunatic, but a brilliant woman who needs help. Joker's smile changed into something loving. Seeing you stand there, you remind of a white knight looking to slay the dragon. That is mental sickness. I wanted to see what kind of a man you were, Doc. After going through your personal files, I saw something I haven't seen in past shrinks. For the first time I see someone I feel I could trust. So I grabbed you a little peace offering. Dr. Kingston was beside himself. These were the words that could make his career. Thank you, Joker. I'm going to ask you to please stay in your room from here on, until guards come to escort you out. I'll see you tomorrow. Joker smiled wickedly when his back turned. As you wish, Doctor. I'll be on my best behavior. The next day came and the first session with Joker was about to begin. They were in the special room with an unbreakable glass acting as a divider and shield from the more dangerous inmates. Joker was shown in and lay out on the couch on her side. Dr. Kingston, good morning, Joker. How are you feeling today? Joker stretched in a seductive manner that was noticeable but not considered unprofessional. Wonderfully, thank you. Are you ready to begin? I have so much to share and it's for your ears alone. He nodded and sat in the chair provided for him. Joker, I suppose it starts with my parents. Both were abusive to each other and me. The only time they were happy was when they were getting along. I loved it when they were nice to each other. That meant there wouldn't be any beatings for me. Although come to think of it, there was one other time when we went to the circus. The clowns there did all sorts of things that made them laugh. From telling jokes to dropping their pants and tripping over themselves. So I got the idea of dressing like a clown so that I could make them laugh. I used Mommy's makeup and wore one of Dad's pants. I came walking and smiling, and at the right moment I dropped the pants and tripped just like the circus clowns. Both she and Dr. Kingston laughed hard. He knew this wasn't professional, but the image in his mind was too good, until Joker continued in a sorrowful tone. They didn't laugh, instead they took turns slapping me around. Telling me I looked like a whore wearing Mommy's special makeup and dropping his pants. Said I was asking for trouble. No daughter of theirs was going to act like a tramp. She continued to share similar stories of trying to make people around her laugh, but no one was getting the jokes. She repeated a few to him and he got them. She made him smile and laugh unlike anyone in his life. He and his sister were raised in a very serious environment. never allowed to have fun like other kids and always expected to be professional in every way. He felt a connection building between himself and Joker, and maybe that was the key to curing her. So the next several months went on like that. Joker tells a string of stories about her life, and eventually he would take turns sharing his life with her. 7 months later, and it was official. He was in love with the Joker. Joker, you know, one of the best things I love about you is your name. Harvey Kingston makes me think of you as a king. A ruler over my heart, my Harvey King. Dr. Kingston, and you have brought laughter and joy into my life. Made me realize how boring my life had become. It's unprofessional, but I don't care anymore. I love you. The Joker's plan had worked. I know, and that's why I know I can trust you with this information. I'm going to escape again. The world suffers while I rot away here. They need me to make them laugh, but I need some help. I've been a solo act for so long, but Gotham needs a duo now, and I think you would be perfect. Dr. Kingston, me? You want me to come with you? Joker nodded. Yes, tell you what, you go home and think it over. I'll be escaping tonight. If you're in, wait for me outside, and if you're not, you can come back to work tomorrow to do the same old mundane job and live the same old mundane life, but I have a feeling I'll see you soon. She sent him a kiss, then knocked on the door to be taken back to her room. Later that night, the Joker, true to her word, escaped Arkham, and right outside, in a purple convertible, sat costumed figure Harvey. Well, hello, good looking. Need a ride? Joker, Dr. Kingston? Harvey, not anymore, cousin. Say hello to your new and improved Harvey King. She hopped in the car next to him, and they drove away from Arkham and into the unsuspecting world. For the next 3 years, Harvey has been her loyal servant and lapdog. Date night tonight, the Wayne Charity Ball was in full swing. Many of the rich and famous citizens of Gotham were in attendance. Money was being donated to various orphanages throughout Gotham. Bruce Wayne, as usual, was hosting the event. Random attendant, Bruce, once again you have outdone yourself. This ball is an absolute success. Bruce, thank you, and remember to be generous with your donations. Raising money for the Gotham City orphanages was important to him, although he wished he was out patrolling the streets of Gotham as Batman with Barbara and Jason out there. He could afford to see to it that this event went smoothly. Suddenly there was a scream near the entrance, and soon everyone was panicking. Bruce made his way to the front and wished he was in costume right now. Standing in the doorway was Joker and Harvey, wearing a tux over his usual get-up, and the Joker was wearing a striking purple dress. If it wasn't for the fact that she was the Joker, she would have been the most sought-after woman at the ball, because she was beautiful. She held a pistol casually in one hand, while Harvey was pointing a machine gun at the guests. Joker, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for the interruption, but you see, I got all dressed up with nowhere to go. But then here, said Harvey. Say, Miss J, isn't Bruce Wayne throwing a ball tonight? Joker pretended to gasp. Why, you're right, Harvey. Brucey is hosting a ball. Let's go, attendant. Here we are. Speaking of tonight's host, where is Mr. Wayne? He wanted to slip her away, so Batman could intervene, but he had no choice. He couldn't take the chance that innocent people could get hurt. Bruce, I am right here, Miss Joker. Bruce walked through the crowd to the front, where he could be seen. As he walked, he pressed a hidden button on his belt to alert Barbara and Jason. Joker, there you are. Aren't you looking so dashing tonight? And please call me Joker. No need to be so formal. She turned to Harvey. Isn't this supposed to be a ball, Harv? There's no music. Harvey aimed his weapon at the band and they turned to look at Bruce. He smiled to help put them at ease, and they began to play Joker. That's better. Well, Brucey, isn't customary for the host to ask a lovely lady for a dance. Bruce smiled. Forgive my manners, I was distracted for the safety of the other guests. May I have this dance? He put out a hand to her and she took it. The crowd made room in the middle of the ballroom and watched as the Joker held a gun on Bruce Wayne. As they danced Joker, you dance well, Mr. Wayne. I can see why you're such a lady killer. Hell, if I wasn't so attached to Batman, I'd be chasing you around for affection too. Bruce, plus you pursue a life of crime and I do not. Sounds like it just wasn't meant to be. Joker, Celebi, oh well, I'll just make do with Batsy. Bruce kept eyeing the gun resting on his shoulder. Oh, I'm sorry, does this little old thing bother you? Bruce, I have to admit that I'm not used to dancing with a woman holding a gun on me. Joker giggled. It's nothing personal, Mr. Wayne, you're just the bait for Batsy. Bruce, as your host, I hope you will not endanger the lives of my guests. Joker, well, aren't you the brave one? Not to worry, Brucey, I have no need for the rebel. I just need you. Bruce, I'll gladly cooperate, if you allow everyone to leave unharmed. Joker, they can leave soon, as Batman gets here. Bruce, but how is he supposed to know where to go, if everyone is still in here? Joker tapped her chin with the muzzle of the pistol. Good point. Harv, make some noise, for Batman, will you? Harvey nodded. He walked up to a nearby window and began firing his machine gun at it. Glass shattered and flew as the bullets ripped through it. Joker turned back to Bruce. Joker, that should do the trick. Suddenly Harvey was attacked from behind and standing over him was Batgirl and Robin. Joker looked around for Batman. Come out, Batman. Time to play. Batgirl, he's not here, Joker. Robin, you caused trouble on the wrong side of town. Joker was disappointed. What? Not here. On the wrong side of town? But I got all dressed up for him and he isn't even around to see me? Robin, I doubt he'd be impressed anyway. I know I'm not. Joker glared at him. You know Batsy really needs to teach you how to treat a ladybird, boy. Robin, that's funny. You don't look like a lady. That one really made her angry. I liked the other Robin better, at least he had manners. Batgirl, give it up, Joker. Harvey is down and you can't win. Joker's smile returned. Oh, can't I? She pointed the gun at Bruce's neck and began guiding him towards a window. She pressed something hidden in her hair. Robin, let him go, clown. Joker shot the window and said, poor choice of words, kid. She pushed Bruce out the window and jumped after him. Batgirl and Robin ran after her and found they had landed on the lower balcony. Then they heard a helicopter approaching. Joker pointed the gun at Batgirl and Robin and pulled the trigger. There were no bullets in it, just a sign that popped out. Which tree? Bang! Whoops! Grabbed the wrong gun. I told Harvey 1,000 times the trick guns go on the left track and the real guns go on the right side, but luckily I still have this. She pulled out a grenade and threw it at the caped heroes. They leaped away from the window to escape the explosion. Joker then turned back to Bruce. Joker, well, Mr. Wayne, it turns out things didn't go according to plan tonight for either of us. But that doesn't mean we can't end the evening without a bang. She then grabbed his shirt and pulled him towards her, where she gave him a quick kiss on the lips. "A little something to remember me by. Thanks for the dance." Joker then pushed him over the rail. One moment he was falling, the next he was grabbed by both Batgirl and Robin. He looked for Joker and saw her getting away in the helicopter. He listened to her laugh until the helicopter vanished from sight. "Batgirl, you all right?" Bruce nodded. "What about Harvey?" "Robin, he's unconscious and I threw on some bat cuffs for good measure." "Better get me back up there. Going to have to talk to the police once they arrive." "I'll join you soon as I can." With that, Robin brought Bruce back up to the ballroom, and for hours he was stuck handling the police and making sure the guests were all right. The night hadn't been a complete waste. All the donation money that was collected at night was untouched by the Joker. Then there was Harvey King, the Joker's right-hand man. Gordon assigned his best man to take King to Arkham. "Gordon, thanks for everything, Mr. Wayne. We'll take care of the rest." "Bruce, thank you, Commissioner. I hope the rest of your evening becomes less eventful." "Gordon, knowing the city, that's unlikely, but at least we have friends to help." He was of course referring to Batman and his allies. Bruce nodded, then entered the car with Alfred inside. "Alfred, well, Master Bruce, shall I drive you home or will you be working tonight?" Bruce removed his costume from a secret compartment and nothing else needed to be said. The Batman had work to do. Batman and the others didn't find Joker that night. In fact, it would be a week before any of them heard her recent whereabouts. Batman followed the tip that the Joker was hiding out in the Gotham City Theater, which was closed for renovations. Batman advised Batgirl and Robin to check out another lead while he checked on this one. He quietly entered the building looking for signs of the Joker. He was carefully walking on the stage when a spotlight flashed on him. From the sound system came the laughs of the Joker. "Joker, why Batman, thank you so much for accepting my invitation. I wasn't sure if you would even show given the fact you were a total no-show at the ball." "Batman, sorry to disappoint you, but can't be everywhere at once." Joker, too true Batsy. Speaking of disappointments, you really need to teach that new Robin of yours some manners. Gonna get himself killed one of these days. Anyhow, it's Friday night, which means it's date night. Since you rudely missed last week's date night, there will be no fun in it for you. Instead of gazing upon my beauty, we are gonna play a game. I have had the boys set up some canisters filled with Joker gas around the city. You're gonna have to find them using the GPS sitting on the chair closest to you. Batman looked and found the GPS. All on the timer. You will have 25 minutes to find and deactivate the mechanism that releases the gas. Oh, and Bats, the GPS doesn't give an exact location, just the general area. Better be quick, the clock starts now. Batman runs out of the theater with the GPS in hand. Once in the Batmobile, he activates the GPS to get all the locations. Next, he calls Batgirl as he drives to the first canister. He quickly tells her what's going on, then gives locations for each of them to find Batman. Careful when approaching the canisters, knowing Joker she will have traps waiting. Robin finds the first canister. It has a timer and mechanism attached to a nozzle. He spotted some gun turrets just in time to avoid being shot. Robin, good call on the traps. She's attached gun turrets to a motion sensor. Batman, take out those turrets, but be careful. Robin, I'm always careful, this will be easy. Robin was able to figure out where the turrets were hidden. He then jumped the barrels by throwing his batarangs. The turrets jammed and exploded. This left the barrels peeled like bananas. Robin from there deactivated the mechanism. He saw that some shrapnel struck the canister. Had it struck any harder, the gas would have been released. Probably need to find a better way of taking out the turrets. Best not tell Batman. Batman and Batgirl were both able to find canisters and safely deactivated the turrets by taking out the motion sensors that activated them. Within 23 minutes, the last of the canisters were located and deactivated. Suddenly, the GPS vanished and Joker's face appeared. Joker didn't look happy. Joker, I'm disappointed in you. Bet you called the kids in for help. This was supposed to be a game between Mommy and Daddy. Batman, when lives are on the line, I don't play by the rules. Joker, well, just so that you don't get a good night kiss and don't even bother coming back to the theater. I'm quite upset with you. The connection was cut, then a new display appeared. It was a clock and it was counting down 5, 4, 3. Batman attached the GPS to his grapple gun and shot it straight in the air. There was a small explosion and from the sky fell colored confetti. Robin, looks like Dad is sleeping on the couch tonight, he said, while elbowing Batgirl's arm. They both laughed, until Batman turned to glare at them. Do I make you blush? Darkness. He was alone in the dark. Batman went to reach for his flashlight, except he could barely move. He was being restrained by something. When did that happen? He thought back. He remembered chasing Joker and Harvey. They had just trashed a women's fashion store. Harvey had accidentally tripped the alarm, which alerted Batman. Now he remembered he lost sight of them while chasing them through the alley. Then he woke up here. One of them must have struck him hard enough to fall unconscious. Now the question was, where was he? He considered activating his night vision when the lights flashed. It took him a moment to adjust to the light, but soon he could see that he was heavily restrained. Then he saw his captors, Harvey and Joker. Joker, well, there you are, Batsy. I was beginning to think Harv had hit you too hard. Batman, where are we? Harv, in one of Miss J's safe houses, of course. Joker walked over to Batman. Best part is that your kiddos won't be able to track you, so you're alone with me and Harv. Batman, and now you plan to kill me, I suppose? Joker laughed. What, kill you? Ha ha ha, what would I do without you? Go back to robbing mobsters? No, you complete me, Batsy Poo. Batman, then why am I here under these restraints? Joker bopped his nose. Oh, come now, Batsy, it's called foreplay, she giggled, as she walked back to Harv. Actually, I figured, since we gave you such a conk on the old noggin, that we should bring you home to make sure you were alright. Wouldn't want some third-rate street punk hurting you now, would we? Batman, now that you know I'm safe, how about releasing me? Both Harvey and Joker laughed hard at that. Joker, sure, let you go so you can cart us off to Arkham. I don't think so. Harvey, we're not dumb men. Batman, no, but you are careless. Before their eyes, Batman slipped one hand free and slid a key into the main lock. With a flick of his fingers, the restraints fell away. Joker and Harvey were speechless for a moment, until Joker slammed her palm against her forehead. Joker, such a rookie mistake. I knew better than to get too close. Wait, that was in my breast pocket. Did you feel a cup without me noticing? Batman, nope. He dropped the key and made himself ready for a fight. Joker, well, how dare you, any other guy would have. Ha ha ha, Harv, deal with this, would you? Harvey charged at Batman. He aimed his fist at Batman's face, but it was blocked and followed by another fist. Batman blocked that one too, then threw his own fist into Harvey's gut, causing him to double over. Then Batman grabbed him and rammed him into a nearby wall. Harvey was out. Joker had run out. Batman chased after her. She ran through the hallway, looking for a way out. She spotted an open door and ran through it, only to find it was a dead end. It was a room with no windows. The walls were covered in graffiti. Batman entered the room behind her. Batman, give it up, Joker. There's no way out. Joker, you know full well I can't do that, Bat. She proceeded to remove her jacket, revealing her striking figure. She even took off her shoes. Batman, what are you doing? Joker, what does it look like? You and I are about to go toe-to-toe together, and I don't want my new jacket ruined. What's the matter? Do I make you blush? Batman chose not to dignify that with an answer. It's okay, Batsy. It's only natural for a boy when he sees a pretty lady. She laughed at her joke, then lunged at him. They exchanged blows, but Joker was throwing most of the punches. He swept her legs out from under her and landed hard on her well-shaped behind. She rubbed her tailbone, then jumped to her feet. She brought her leg straight up and kicked his jaw. She heard a rib and checked herself over. She spotted a long tear in her skirt. Joker, oh, now look at what you've done. This skirt wasn't cheap, you know, Batman. Perhaps you should have come quietly. Joker, yeah, like that was really going to happen. Well, if you get flashed, it's your fault. They engaged again. Joker throwing punches and kicks, while Batman blocked them. Without warning, Joker began covering her chest and called out, "Time out! Time out! I've got a nip slip here." Batman turned his head away to give her privacy, but suddenly she made a mad dash for the door. She laughed at how she fooled him. "You fell for the old nip slip gag, ha ha ha." She got through the door, then turned around just in time to slam the door in Batman's face. He had slammed hard against the door and fell back. Joker, you know, Batsy, if you were more of a pervert, that gag wouldn't have worked, but hell, I kindle like that about you. Tootles. She took off down the hall. He got up again and chased after her. She found Harvey awake finally and had a bloody nose. Joker, well, you took your sweet time, Harvey. Sorry, Puddin'. Batman broke my nose. Joker grimaced. Yes, I can see that now. Hurry up, he's right behind me. A batarang flew right at Harvey's noggin, knocking him up once again. Joker, oh, for crying out loud. Batman tackled her and they wrestled on the floor. It didn't take long for him to cuff her. "Too Batsy, I didn't realize you were into kinky stuff." Joker sat up and kissed him until he pulled away, then hauled her to her feet. "Batman, you and Harvey are going back to Arkham." Joker sighed. "Alright, Bats, we'll go see a couples counselor. But when the doctor asks about our love life, I'm totally telling him you've been neglecting me in the bedroom." He ignored her and she laughed all the way back to Arkham. Paul Valley had just got off work at Wayne Enterprises. He has been very grateful to Bruce for getting him this job. Being a security guard isn't exactly what he had pictured himself doing after college, but leaving the Order of St. Dumas limited his options. So he was going to stick with this job until he figured out a new life for himself. He got in his car then froze, because he sensed a presence. Catwoman, it's just me. Jean-Paul looked in the backseat to see Catwoman sitting there. Jean-Paul, oh, it's you. Catwoman, we have a favor to ask of you. Can we talk? Not long after that, Bane broke Batman's back in the Batcave. As Bane carried Batman and loaded him into his Hummer, someone just happened to look out his window just in time to see Batman endangered him. Bruce quickly got dressed and quietly uncovered his Robin cycle. Robin caught up to Bane's Hummer, then followed from a distance with his lights off so as not to give away his presence. Only until he was certain he could track Batman did he call Oracle. Oracle, Robin, what's going on? Batman's tracking came up on my screen and I can't reach him or Alfred. Robin, someone broke into the manor. I saw him take Batman out of the house and now I'm in pursuit. Oracle's heart raced. Who took him? Robin, it looked like Bane. Oracle, keep following at a distance. Selena asked me to keep his tracker on in case he tried to leave, but now gotta use it to save him. I'll contact her now. Catwoman, so he agreed to ask someone to take over for him temporarily while he gets the rest he needs. He shows you he was going to tell you himself, but tonight's activities were too much on his body. We need you to step in as Batman. Oracle, Catwoman. We have a code red. Bane as Batman. Catwoman's heart sank. Where is he? Oracle told her how Robin was in pursuit and that she was tracking Batman. Catwoman, stay on him. I'm on my way. She turned to Jean-Paul. Drive. Bane finally stopped in the center of Gotham City. Batman was in a lot of pain now. The shock was starting to wear off. He had been in and out of consciousness. When awake, he tried to keep still as possible so as not to damage his back more than it was now. Bane exited the Hummer and the people backed away out of fear. They watched as Bane grabbed Batman, then climbed high above them and watched in horror. Robin arrived, then pushed his way past the crowd and paused to see Bane hold Batman above him. Bane, behold Gotham, I'm Bane, and I have broken the Batman. You have my permission to weep over your fallen knight. He tossed Batman down but was caught by Robin, who had fired a grapnel that carried him fast enough to catch Batman. The people backed away as Robin landed and stood protecting Batman. Bane clapped and laughed at Robin. Bane, well done boy, but the damage is done. Catwoman and a masked Jean-Paul arrived just as Bane finished daunting Robin. Catwoman gathered Batman in her arms. Robin, we got to get him out of here. Jean-Paul, Catwoman, get in the back of my car, put down the passenger seat, and get ready for us. Catwoman did as she was told, and soon Batman was in the car with Catwoman. Jean-Paul glared up at Bane just before getting into his car and drove away. Robin followed close behind as they raced for the Batcave. Bane watched them leave and laughed. Gotham was his now, for the Batman was broken. Catwoman fretted over Batman. What happened? Batman, Bane knows, came to Manor Alfred. Catwoman, Oracle? Oracle, I just got hold of Alfred. He's alright, but Bane made a mess of the manor. How is he? Catwoman, we're on our way to the cave. He's hurt and I don't know how badly. Tell Alfred if he can get everything ready. Alfred indeed has everything ready in the med wing of the cave. Even a stretcher lay waiting before they pulled in. Batman was still trying to tell him more, but he was exhausted and his body had been through trauma. Batman, I'm sorry, my fault. Catwoman, SHHH, try to relax. And Alfred is going to take care of you. They carefully got him onto the stretcher and into the med wing. His torn uniform was removed, his cuts were tended to, and Bruce was now sleeping deeply. The results of the scans came out and it was Bat-Robin. Will he be alright? Alfred looked over at the man he knew since the day he was born, and a tear ran down his cheek seeing his boy like this. Alfred, Master Bruce will live, but he has multiple bone fractures. His ribs contain small fractures. His left leg near his ankle also contains small fractures. Then there is back. His back is broken. It appears to have cracks in 2 places on his lower lumbar. Most of the wings on the lower lumbar have cracks in them. Everyone was silent. Selena looked down on Bruce, squeezing his hand. Jean-Paul, that doesn't mean he's paralyzed, does it? Alfred shook his head. No, from what I've been able to read on, it's possible he will walk again, but if that disc slips he will need surgery, and I don't feel capable to do such a surgery. Robin, we're going to need help. Are there any doctors we can bring in? Alfred, yes, Dr. Leslie Tompkins. She has helped before. However, Master Bruce will be out of commission for a while. People will need to know what happened to Bruce Wayne. Robin, we could stage a car accident, couldn't we? That would explain his injuries. Jean-Paul, sure, but we should probably stage this later in a few days. That may help protect Batman's identity. Oracle, I've told Leslie what happened. She's on her way. She instructed Bruce be kept on his back until she arrives. Alfred, understood. I better go upstairs and start cleaning while I wait for Dr. Tompkins. He hesitated and didn't want to leave Bruce, but Selena lay a hand on his shoulder. Selena, I'll be right here. I'm not leaving his side. Alfred nodded and went upstairs. She turned to Tim. You better run off home and get some sleep. We'll let you know what's going on in the morning. As for you, Jean-Paul, plan on staying here. Alfred can show you a guest room later. For now, Jean-Paul, I think I'll go assist Alfred. He may need help. Later, Leslie came and examined him for herself. She put the brace on Bruce's leg, and with help from Selena and Alfred, she put Bruce into a back brace. Leslie, I realize it doesn't seem like it now, but you got lucky. Any higher and you'd be paralyzed from the waist down. However, with this back injury, you can recover and walk again. I fear you might need surgery, but I'd like to see if your body heals it instead. So keep your back straight for the next 3 months. Keep that leg brace on for 2 weeks. Don't try to stand on that leg. In fact, stand as little as possible until that leg is out of the brace. Bruce was awake now. Thank you, Leslie. Leslie, and get plenty of rest. No more of this 2 to 4 hours of sleep I've been told about. If you ever want a chance to get back out there, rest and do everything I just told you. Bruce nodded. He knew he had made a mistake. He had allowed the job to take over. Had it been anyone else, he would have put an end to it, but for himself he allowed this to happen. Bane might have released the Arkham prisoners and broken his back, but the fact was that he had allowed himself to become so exhausted that he couldn't defend himself properly. Leslie left and promised to return in a few days to help them with faking the car accident. Then it was just Selena, Alfred, Tim and Barbara in the cave with him. He looked at all of them before speaking. Bruce, I owe all of you an apology. Each of you in your own way tried to warn me, tried to make me see sense, but I brushed it off. Now I'm paying for it. Selena, we're paying for it too. Because we are the ones who are watching you suffer. Bruce reached out his hand for hers and held it. I know. I'm sorry. If I'm ever able to be Batman again, I promise things will change. Selena, good, because I've been sitting here wondering what I'd do if something happened to you. Barbara wheeled up. The chair isn't fun, old man. Make sure you get back on your feet and extends his concerns. Bruce nodded. I understand and deserve it. Have you spoken to Jean-Paul? Tim, he's upstairs sleeping. Selena, Tim and I are going to be training him to be Batman. He will learn how to act like Batman and talk like Batman for tonight. Bruce, tonight. Newspaper reading, is Batman dead? Then Alfred paraphrased the story. Essentially, sir, after people saw Batman beaten and carried away, they began to wonder if he was dead. Bane has spread the word that he defeated Batman once and for all. Selena, people need to believe he is still at large, so we are pushing things so Batman can be seen in public. Bruce nodded. However, once we do that, Bane may return to make sense of what happened. From the shadows a new voice came. They figured that also. It was Superman. Oracle contacted the League and we agreed to have the matter watched. Bruce, who? I don't want just anyone going up against Bane. He's more dangerous than ever. Superman agreed, so I've asked John to do it and he was happy to accept. John Jones, the Martian Manhunter. John has the ability to turn invisible, phase through solid objects, shape-shift and much more. He would be more than a match for Bane should he return. For this, Bruce approved. Bruce, very well, Superman, it's good to see you're still with us. Gave us all a scare. Bruce, I'm not easy to get rid of. Superman, a good thing too. Get some rest and let us know if you need anything. Bruce nodded and Superman flew off. That night, as planned, while Bruce left, Jean-Paul put in an appearance as Batman. He appeared to Commissioner Gordon, who was pleased to see him. Alongside Catwoman and Robin, they took down more escape inmates from Arkham. Many people saw Batman and that he was unharmed. When the news spoke to witnesses, Bane's thugs mocked their boss Joey. I broke the bet, he says. I defeated the Batman, he says. What a bunch of bull. He was grabbed from behind the neck by Bane. Bane, I did defeat him by breaking him. Whoever this is, it's not the real Batman. It's some imposter designed to trick everyone he's still around. Joey, yes, Bane, anything you say. Bane then proceeded to whisk Joey's head until his neck snapped. Bane, remove his body and get back to work. If anyone questions me again, they will die slowly. Bane wasn't fooled by this new Batman. He felt the bones and Wayne's back break. But those details are for his own knowledge alone. The way he saw it, if you're smart enough to figure out who Batman is, then you deserve to know. For who couldn't figure it out for themselves didn't deserve to know. However, not everyone would believe him, so he would have to break this new Batman also. He would kill everyone about Batman, if he had to. He had come this far. He wasn't going to let everything he worked for slip away easily. In the days to come, it was released in the news that billionaire Bruce Wayne was in a car accident. Another driver hit him and ran. There were no traces in the other car that was found abandoned. Traces of alcohol drinking were found, but there was no license plate or anything that could identify who had hit him. He was treated by Dr. Tompkins, who was a friend of Thomas Wayne, Bruce's father. Bruce refused to go to a hospital and had everything brought to the manor. The only statement Bruce would make is that he is well and healing. He wishes to stay home and free up the beds at the hospital for those who need them more than himself. Selena over time began to struggle, not with caring for Bruce. That was easy. She couldn't stop the feeling he got when she thought of losing him. Who would be without Bruce? Was she only Selena so long as Bruce lived? Would she slip back into Joker and an all-out Joker war occur? She hoped not, but at the same time she couldn't help thinking about it. Alone, who is she? Selena would have to find that out, but not now. Not while Bruce was hurt. She couldn't do what she had to do while he was like this, but she would make plans for when the time was right. Jean Paul was a natural. He had been trained in combat for years, so he was a match for any Batman foe. He wasn't quite the detective Bruce was, but Tim more than made up for that. It felt weird stepping into the role of Batman, but it was better than Azrael. As weeks passed, Jean Paul came to be comfortable in the Batsuit. As he was out with Robin and Catwoman, they were ambushed by Bane. He had 6 men with him. Bane, I have come for you, Batfake. I know who Batman is under the cowl, and I broke him. You are not broke yet, Batman. You failed last time and you'll fail again. Bane, even your voice is remarkably close. You are an impressive stand-in, but that is what you are, a stand-in. You lot take Robin and Catwoman. This bat is mine. Bane launches himself at Jean Paul but misses him, as Jean Paul moves quickly. He knows what Bane did to Bruce, and he would not allow himself to suffer the same fate. Jean Paul leaped onto Bane's back and began to choke him out. He knows he isn't strong enough to hurt Bane, but maybe he can knock him out. Bane grabbed at Jean Paul's hands and arm to pull him off, but they were locked under Bane's chin. Bane then spotted a wall and rammed into it to squish Jean Paul. However, in the nick of time, he saw the wall behind him and jumped away. When the dust settled, he saw all his men down, with Catwoman and Robin standing with their fake Batman. Bane, how long do you think you can fool everyone? At some point this fake Batman will slip up and then there will be trouble. Batman, then let's settle this, the 3 of us against you in 1 week. Bane, 1 week after you hope to gain the upper hand somehow. You think you have a plan to level the playing field. Very well. Consider me intrigued and accept your challenge. On the way back to the cave, Robin and Catwoman questioned him about this challenge and what he was thinking. Jean Paul, Bane is far stronger than he was on the old Venom. The 3 of us, as we are, will not stop him. We need an edge. Robin, what kind of edge? Jean Paul, how much do you know about the suit of Azrael? Robin, it's mechanized and heavenly armored. Wait. Jean Paul, that's right. I want to blend Batman with Azrael's armor. I still have my suit just before leaving the Order. Catwoman, do you think a week will be enough time? Jean Paul, more than enough. This will work, I know it. We can take down Bane, take his venom from him, and lock him away in Blackgate Prison. Paul Valley had an excellent plan. Before their return to the Batcave, they drove to his apartment and collected his Azrael suit and brought it back to the Batcave. While Jean Paul began converting the suit, him and Selena checked on Bruce, who was lying down in his room sleeping. Selena, how is he tonight, Alfred? She asked Alfred, doing well all things considered. He sleeps mostly, which I'm thankful for. Tim, I better get home. I'll see you guys later, Alfred. Good night, Master Tim. Selena, good night. Selena entered the room and sat by Bruce. She played with his hair a bit. Alfred, forgive me for saying so, but he seems to miss your presence when he sleeps. I noticed his hand searching for someone from time to time. Selena, I miss him too, but until his back heals I don't want to take a chance of hurting him while he sleeps. Alfred nodded. I completely understand. Selena, I'll just tell him about Jean-Paul's plan later. Alfred, is it wise to face Bane? After what he did to Master Bruce, Selena, he caught us all off guard, Alfred. If Bruce had listened to us sooner, he would have stood a chance. We have a plan and it does have a chance of working. Either way we can't do nothing. Tonight proved he would just come looking for us. He isn't going to wait for Bruce to get better. There's no other way. Alfred, I suppose you're right. Jean-Paul worked for hours on the new suit, converting fingers into claws, repainting the special metal and material from red to blue. Finally there was the helmet. He tore out the gadgets of the Azrael helmet and reforged the helmet into one that was the bat. He reassembled the helmet and added a shuriken launcher and one gauntlet, while keeping the flamethrower in the other. Soon it was complete. Jean-Paul put it on, then took it out for a test. He moved with the power and speed of Azrael but instilled the fear of the Batman. He was ready for Bane tomorrow. Bruce looked over the plans over and over that Jean-Paul had made. Bruce wasn't sure about the plan at first, but from what he knew about Bane, he was starting to get more comfortable with the plan. Bruce, tonight, when you're out there, do not let him touch you. Any of you, Jean-Paul, if he does grab you, remember to go for pressure points. It could cause him to let go. Separate him from the venom. This new stuff makes him stronger, but it also numbs physical pain. I wish it was me. None of you should have to do this. Selena sat next to him in the bed. We can do this and nothing is going to happen to us. If we don't, he'll only come back here. She kissed Bruce deeply, then they were on their way. Bane was waiting on the top of the GCPD. He wanted everyone to see this. No one would doubt him after tonight. He flipped on the bat signal and waited. The rain began to fall. The crowd gathered below and the GCPD worked to keep everyone back. Soon the trio arrived. They instructed Gordon to keep everyone off the roof for their safety. AC Batman, Bane. Bane turned to observe his challengers, especially the newly armored Batman. Bane. So this is the edge you believe to have over me? A fancy new suit. I'm insulted. As Batman, it has some tricks and surprises for you. Bane, very well, let's show Gotham once and for all who rules. Bane activated the device on his arm and soon venom pumped into his body. As Batman charged head-on at Bane, the two clashed in the middle, hands locked and tried to overpower the other. To Bane's surprise, it was difficult to overpower this Batman. Maybe he was premature in mocking his suit after all. They pushed away from each other and traded blows. On the sixth swing, as Batman opened his fist to allow his claws to cut a holes to Bane's device, the venom poured out. Bane, no. He watched as all the venom drained out and was washed away with the rain. He glared at as Batman, This changes nothing. I don't need the venom to defeat you. Bane tackled as Batman and began pounding his fists down on him, but it had no effect on as Batman's armor. Catwoman swooped in and slashed at Bane's flesh with her claws. Bane clutched his arm, realizing the venom was already failing, for he could feel the sting of Catwoman's claws. Robin swung his bone staff across Bane's face. Lashed out to grab them but couldn't touch them then as Batman was upon him. His metal hands punched and clawed at Bane. His mask was beginning to tear as Batman backed away, only for Catwoman to jump in and with her claws again. Catwoman, and this is for what you did to him. She kicked Bane in the groin, making him double over. Robin took her place, beating Bane with his staff, while keeping his distance. Then as Batman was there and kicked Bane's chest so hard the villain fell over the side and landed on a car below. This didn't stop him. He climbed off of the car and swung his arms at the metal Dark Knight. Bane, come. Face me and I'll break you, as Batman jumped down with the cape, slowing his descent. He kicked Bane in the face and soon we're trading punches. Bane didn't look so good. He was covered in cuts and scratches and even a few bruises. He didn't wish to give up, however. He refused to be beaten by this Batman imposter. Catwoman whistled, telling us Batman to step back in time to avoid being hit by a truck. Catwoman stepped out of the truck in time for Bane to toss it off of him. He was heaving and seething with anger as Batman pounced on Bane and let his fists pound on his face over and over until Bane began to stop moving. He grabbed Bane by his shirt and brought him to his face. Bane, who do you think you are? As Batman, I'm Batman. He let Bane drop to his feet. He was beaten. There was no need to kill him. Gordon came up to the heroes with bewilderment on his face. Gordon, for a second I was starting to think it wasn't you in there. Good to have you back, friend. As Batman nodded, the trio left Bane in the pouring rain, beaten and soon on his way to Blackgate, separated from his precious venom. Tonight was good. Tonight was a success. Bane was beaten and Bruce could rest peacefully knowing Bane wasn't going to come after them and be unable to protect them. Things were finally looking up for the first time in weeks. Jean Paul considered retiring the new suit, now that Bane was beaten, but it felt a part of him. This suit felt more like him than Bruce's old suit. So why not continue to wear it while Bruce was on the mend? Soon a month and a half passed by and Bruce continued to heal. He was able to walk, but he still had to keep his back straight for at least another month and a half. Tonight, as Batman was on his own, Tim had exams to study for. Selina had the romantic night in with Bruce planned. So Jean Paul patrolled the night alone. He heard a woman's scream and ran to investigate the trouble. He saw a man attempting to kill a woman as Batman swooped down and threw the thug aside, putting himself between the man and woman. As Batman approached the thug until he saw his face, Arnold Hutchinson, the man who killed his father. Suddenly Jean Paul's vision turned red as blood. Az Batman, Arnold Hutchinson, you have been found guilty. Murder and monster, you shall be slain by the fires of Saint Dumas. The thug paled and ran for his life as Batman chased after him. He lifted his arm and fired bat shurikens at his enemy, and a few buried themselves in his back, but he kept running as Batman happened to catch the bat signal at the corner of his eye, and suddenly his vision cleared. He tried to process what just happened. By the time he remembered Arnold Etchinson, the man was gone. He also realized something else: the system has been activated, which means his Azrael training would start to take control. He had to tell the others, but no he couldn't. Bruce was in no shape to return, yet they depended on him to be Batman. He couldn't let them down. So he would just have to fight it later in the Batcave. Jean-Paul made some minor repairs to his armor. Suddenly a voice called to him. He looked around and saw no one, so he got back to work, but he heard it again. He followed the voice until he found himself looking into a bright light. From the light he saw a figure of Saint Dumas. Saint Dumas, Jean-Paul Valley, you have forgotten your place. You who had been chosen by the Order to be Azrael, the Angel of Vengeance. Jean-Paul backed away, wanting to ignore this vision. He kept telling himself it wasn't real. Saint Dumas, don't you doubt me, I'm Saint Dumas and you are Azrael, Angel of Vengeance. Jean-Paul, no I'm not, I refuse to be Azrael, I'm Batman. Silence. The vision was gone. He decided that was the key. He just needed to say those words to push the visions away. Everyone was counting on him. It just had to work, it had to. As the week progressed, it seemed to suppress the programming that the Order had done to him. This program was called the System. It was supposed to take over when a new Azrael was ready to perform the duties of the Order. It was mainly for assassinations. The Order couldn't have their champions be squeamish. He didn't understand why it was coming out now and not back when he became Azrael, but he knew it was somehow triggered when he saw Arnold Etchinson. It didn't really matter at this point, but what did matter is that he controlled it. The following week he was on patrol with Robin. They discovered that Arnold Etchinson was carrying out his typical string of murders. Oracle had finally figured out his pattern, so now, as Batman and Robin waited, hoping to stop the lunatic from killing again. Robin was the one to spot him. He was skulking down an alley, looking for his next prey to walk by. As Batman automatically leaped downward from his perch and came crashing down on Arnold. Arnold, not you again. As Batman, Arnold Etchinson, you have been found guilty. Robin, great work, you got him. Batman. Arnold tried to pull a knife, but as Batman grabbed his hand and crushed it, his claws digging into Arnold's flesh. The lunatic howled in pain and cradled his hand. When Batman let go Robin, whoa, he's up, he's done. The killer proved them wrong by running and throwing a flash grenade at them. Arnold ran into the Smith warehouse. In Jean-Paul's head he heard the voice of Saint Dumas, but this time his message was different. Saint Dumas, Jean-Paul, Arnold Etchinson must be punished for killing your father. You have not betrayed me, but merely taken on a new mantle. You are Batman, the champion of Saint Dumas. As Batman shook his head and chased after Arnold. Inside, steel was molded down and forged into tools. Huge vats of molten metal disrupted his infrared. He searched for him, calling out his name. Arnold was scared out of his mind and refused to speak. He was on a catwalk above this metal Batman, trying to control his breathing. It was so hot from the vats and the forges, it caused him to sweat. As Batman happened to look up and spotted him, Arnold panicked and ran, but tripped over his own feet and fell down. As Batman was quickly upon him, he grabbed Arnold by the leg and held him over the side. As Batman, for the murders you have committed you shall feel the burn of holy fire. Robin recovered and entered the building just in time to watch as Batman release his prisoner and have him drop headfirst into a vat of molten steel. His death was instant and there was nothing Robin could do to save him. Robin hid, horrified by what Jean-Paul had just done. He had to tell Bruce and the others, but not here. Not yet, too dangerous. Using his head he called out, pretending to be looking for Jean-Paul, like he hadn't seen what happened. Robin, Batman? Where are you? As Batman, I'm up here, Robin. Robin, did you find Arnold yet? As Batman nodded, yes, I chased after him, but he tripped over himself, then fell, and there he pointed at the bat. Robin was horrified, but not for the reason Jean-Paul thought. Robin, are you alright? As Batman nodded, I did what I could, but I wasn't fast enough to catch him. Either way, he won't take another life again. There is comfort in that. Robin pretended to agree. It's getting late. I have a test tomorrow at school, so I'm gonna need to sleep. As Batman, that's alright, I'll inform Gordon of the accident. As Robin drove his Robin cycle, the image of Arnold's death played over and over in his mind. What was wrong with Jean-Paul? Why would he do this? Bruce and Selena would know what to do. He called Oracle and asked her to have Bruce and the others waiting for him when he returned, and to not tell Jean-Paul. Oracle did, as he asked, and once he returned to the cave, everyone was there except for Oracle, who was monitoring the situation from her lab in the clock tower. Robin told them everything that happened. Bruce at first tried to believe it was a misunderstanding, but Oracle managed to pull up a security video. It clearly shows Jean-Paul dropping Arnold to his death in the molten steel. Everyone was horrified. Bruce buried his face in his hands. Bruce curses himself over and over for allowing Jean-Paul to go after the man who killed his father. Now Jean-Paul has killed someone in cold blood. Bruce, I'm relieving him of duty effective immediately. I fear the system has finally been activated. Tim, you mean that brainwashing program they did to him as a child? Bruce, yes, I thought it failed to take hold of Jean-Paul after helping him leave the order. Selena, there was no way of any of us knowing. He was doing really well. He even came up with a plan to take down Bane and executed it. Tim, so what do we do? Bruce, I'll take care of it. Jean-Paul is my responsibility. Tim, you go get some rest. I'm going to make sure he doesn't know that you leaked this to me. Tim, but you still can't, Selena. He has me. I can take care of any trouble that arises. Reluctantly he left, but not before making them promise to bring him in if they needed him. After Tim left, Alfred spoke. Alfred, you realize, sir, he may not take this news lightly given his current state. Bruce nodded. I know, put the case defenses online but on silent. I don't want Jean-Paul to know they're up unless we have to use them. Alfred nodded, then walked to the bat computer to set everything up. Jean-Paul came in hours later. Bruce and Selena were playing a game of chess near the bat computer while Alfred cleaned. Jean-Paul exited the Batmobile and headed for the bat computer. Bruce, how did it go? Jean-Paul, smoothly until the accident. I assume Tim told you. Bruce, he did. Are you alright? Jean-Paul, never better. The wicked receive their just rewards and all is well. Bruce eyes him. That sounds like something Azrael would say. Are you sure everything is alright? Jean-Paul rolled his eyes. The man who killed my father has been dealt justice. I'm fine. Bruce, exactly. You shouldn't be fine with it. You went from calling it an accident to dealt justice. As Batman glared at Bruce, "Fine. I dropped him into the chemicals, killing him. Justice is served, and you can thank me for being a better Batman." "Bruce, what happened out there? You went from being a man who didn't believe in Azrael's methods to embracing them in one moment." "As Batman, it's something I've been contemplating since I saw the slime ball." "Bruce, remove the suit. You can no longer be Batman. I think the system has finally taken hold. As Batman, you just can't handle the fact that I'm a better Batman. I took down Bane. I found the remaining inmates, while you sit there in that chair." "Bruce, Jean-Paul, listen to as Batman. Have you not been listening? I am Batman." As Batman grabbed the table and hurled it towards Bruce. Selina grabbed him and pulled him out of harm's way. Alfred activated the Batcave defenses. A red light flashed and metal nets were fired at Batman. He wasn't down yet and proved it by activating his flamethrower, melting a hole through the nets. Next, drones flew at Batman, but he fought them off. Selina with her whip attacked Batman. The whip did nothing to him because of the armor. Instead, he caught it and cut it on his gauntlets. As Batman, traitors either attack or question me. I'm Batman. I'm a champion of Gotham and Saint Duma. He fired his bat shurikens at them, then took off in the Batmobile. Selina caught a couple in her arm. Alfred grabbed the medical kit and removed the shurikens and sewed her arm. Bruce sat there seething. Selina, "Bruce, I'm all right." "Bruce, I know this is still on me. Somehow I have to heal my back faster." "Alfred, modern medicine can do great things, but healing your back, as you wish, simply won't happen. It just cannot be done by medical means." "Bruce, then I'll find the magical one." Dr. Fate was meditating when his wife Inza entered the room. She waited for him to come out of his meditation. "Dr. Fate." "Yes, my love." "Inza, it's a call from Bruce Wayne on the Justice League line." She handed him the Justice League communicator. Dr. Fate took it and saw Bruce Wayne. "Dr. Fate, this is unexpected." "Bruce, how is your back healing?" "Bruce, I still have a month left, however something has come up." He told Dr. Fate everything and told him what he wanted. Dr. Fate was silent. "Dr. Fate, I may be able to heal your back, as you wish. However, there is one drawback. I can mend the bones, however the muscles will still be weak after 2 months of inactivity. There is another spell for the muscles, however it is too dangerous to use. It is best that, after I heal the bones, that you work hard to build them back up." This isn't what Bruce had hoped for, but it would be better to have it fixed now than in another month and do the muscle building work later. This way there was a chance. "Bruce, all right, where do you want me?" Suddenly Dr. Fate was there behind him. Appearing from out of a bright light. "Dr. Fate, today I'll make a house call." They laid Bruce on a bed in the Batcave and Dr. Fate was ready to begin. This may be slightly painful and at the very least uncomfortable. Dr. Fate's eyes glowed purple along with his hands as he began the incantation. Soon Bruce began glowing too. He quickly felt strange sensations in his back. It didn't hurt, but it was uncomfortable, as Dr. Fate said it would. The bones were being repaired, fractures were filled in and made strong. Then it was done. The glow disappeared. Bruce quickly found there was no pain in his back now. "Dr. Fate, it is done. Your bones are mended completely. You will have to work the muscles yourself before you're ready to take back the mantle." Bruce sat up. "Thank you, Fate." With a nod, Dr. Fate was gone. Selena felt his back. Selena, anything? Bruce, no, just sore muscles. I need to find someone to work with me. Selena, why no me or Alfred? Bruce, it would mean being hard on me, not letting your feelings for me prevent you from pushing me hard. Do you want that job? Selena sighed, then who? Bruce, I know who will, but you won't like it. Take care of things here with Tim. Avoid Jean Paul, if possible. Selena, I will, but who are you going to? Bruce, Shiva. Soon Bruce and Alfred were on their way to meet with Lady Shiva, top assassin for the League of Assassins and the birth mother of Jason Todd. It felt wrong somehow to be asking this of her, but her skills in combat rival his own, and she has no reason to take it easy on him. Selena filled him, Barbara and Dick on everything, and the plans. Dick, he should have called, could have avoided all of this, if he had just asked me. Selena tried to soothe him. In his way, he was trying to show you respect. He knows how important it was to you to be Bloodhaven's champion. He also knew you didn't want to put on the cowl but be your own man. Dick's breathing could be heard over the video comms. Dick, I appreciate it, I do, but this team is a family, and had he asked me to take on the bat for a while, I would have. Selena, I suggest you tell him when he gets back. He should hear it. Dick, right, I'll start making preparations and come to lend a hand. Sounds like you need all the help you can get with the system-driven Jean Paul. Meanwhile, in the Himalayas, when Shiva agreed to meet Bruce, she waits for him to arrive. When he finally arrives, he looks tired. Shiva, you have fallen very low, Mr. Wayne. Bruce, and I am ready to climb back up. Shiva, we shall see. So you want me to train you? To make you work hard without pity? He nodded. I still feel the pain of my son's death. Do you? Bruce, every day. That's what led me to my downfall. I was being consumed by grief. Shiva stood, then come. He weakly followed her. The muscles in his back and legs stung as they walked on and on. They finally reached a mountainside with a door. They entered into a vast arena filled with equipment. Shiva pointed to a small hut. In there you will find a bed and toiletries. This is where I will beat you down and possibly break your spirit. Put your pack away and get back up here. We begin now. His back and legs stung more and more, but he knew better than to complain. By the time she finished with him that day, he had to crawl to bed and passed out quickly. His training went like that all week. However, slowly he felt himself getting stronger and stronger. Every day he stretched further and further, always pushing his muscles, reminding them of the power they once had in Gotham City. People noticed quickly that Batman had taken a dark turn. For more and more criminals were showing up dead, only murders and psychos, but who knew for how long that would last. By this time Gordon was informed this wasn't Batman by Oracle. She explained Batman had been hurt, then entrusted the mantle to someone he thought he could trust. He was doing everything he could to come back. It was a relief to Gordon to know this Batman who was killing wasn't the one he trusted for years. Soon, as Nightwing arrived, Catwoman and Robin worked with Nightwing to stop as Batman from killing anyone else. It went against Bruce's wishes, but he would agree they couldn't sit it out while people died, even if they are criminals. Until Bruce returned, they were Gotham's guardians. For the most part, they were able to prevent as Batman from killing. Weeks past, Bruce was feeling stronger than ever. Thanks to Shiva, he became strong quickly. She abused his body, made him fight for his life against different level assassins until there was only her. They fought hard. She tried to kill him, because that's what his enemies would do. In the end he beat her. He was ready. It was time to go back to Gotham and reclaim the mantle of the Batman. Nightwing, Catwoman and Robin stood like sentinels over Gotham, waiting for Jean Paul to make a move. Oracle, okay guys, I've got him. He's in the Batmobile and he headed straight for Black Mask. Nightwing, just as we feared. Catwoman, makes sense. Burning the church down was bound to get Jean Paul's attention. Robin, guess we better try to stop him. Nightwing, we will stop him and we have been. Catwoman, let's go get him. On a separate channel to the others, Oracle asks, ready to talk about it? Nightwing, I don't think now is really the time for esbabs. Oracle, obviously, but perhaps later tonight you should. It doesn't have to be me, it can be anyone, but you need to talk to someone about Corey. Nightwing, nothing to talk about. She chose to go back to Tamarin and marry some prince she never met. Oracle sighs, I'm only going to keep bugging you until you talk to someone. It's no good to keep it in. Nightwing, fine, maybe later. When they arrived they found Jean Paul just in time, for he had torn through Black Mask's men and was getting ready to kill the mob boss. As Batman, you blasphemous devil, burn a church without any shame, will you? Judged and found guilty, you shall taste the flames. If he didn't get to finish, because Nightwing crashed in and kicked as Batman away you again. Can you not see that the work I do is greater than any laws of men? Nightwing, you're confused. You're a sick man who needs help. Come on, you know the things you've done are wrong. Come back with us. Catwoman and Robin stood behind Nightwing as Batman. If you chose to stand against me, then you are with the enemy and must be removed from the equation. He lashed out with his sharp claws, all of them moving out of his way. Black Mask took the opportunity to escape from the scene. As Batman grabbed Robin and the claws went for his throat, but Nightwing grabbed as Batman's arm and flipped him out the window. Nightwing, you good? Robin, yeah, that was nearly a close shave. At the window they saw as Batman was making his escape. They chased after him. Catwoman reached him first and caused him to land on a car. Nightwing pulled her out of the way, before as Batman could use his flamethrower on her. The car caught fire and exploded. Robin, do you think the armor protected him? They watched as Batman walked out of the fire seemingly unharmed. Some of the blue paint was peeling off to reveal the red metal that Ezreal's armor is made from. A special metal that protects the wearer from fire and heat. Also strong enough to stand against heavy damage. Nightwing, yeah, he's alright, but I bet he's grumpy. To prove Nightwing right, as Batman fired a barrage of bat shurikens. The three took cover. Nightwing took out one of his own shurikens and threw it straight at Batman's gauntlet launcher. The bird-shaped shuriken James of the launcher then sizzled and popped. Catwoman took the opportunity to attack, claws extended. She scratched it as Batman looking for points of weakness. However, as Batman reacted fast and dealt her a couple punches and his claws left gashes in her arm and belly. He went to burn her, but she moved out of the way, but unfortunately the building they were near caught fire. Catwoman, no. Nightwing, Catwoman, you and Robin evacuate everyone out of there. As Batman, that leaves you stuck with me. Nightwing and as Batman clash. Fine with me. Jean Paul. Robin pulled the fire alarm, causing many to leave their workspace. Catwoman spotted the woman who was trapped inside. She was trapped under her desk and the smoke had suffocated her. Catwoman burned herself a little, pushing the burning desk off. She carried the woman out and handed her over to an ambulance that just arrived. All paused when they saw the false Batman prepare to impale Nightwing with his claws. As Batman never got a chance, for a batarang lodged in his armor and a small explosion followed. Nothing that could harm Nightwing, but enough to make as Batman drop him and back off. I looked above to see, could it be? It looked like him, except his suit was black. It had to be. It was Batman. He glided down to Nightwing's side. Batman, you good? Nightwing, it took you long enough. Batman, I'm sorry for everything. I should have just called you Nightwing. Forget it. Next, the Batman, you'll be the first. Batman turns to as Batman. Azrael, it's over. I'm back, so stand down. As Batman was stunned to see him but found his voice. You think you can just show up and tell me to step down? I'm a better Batman than you ever were. Batman looks around at the damage. All the evidence is to the contrary. As Batman, I'm the Dark Knight. This city needs Batman. No, Azrael, the mantle of Batman belongs to me and I've come to reclaim it and help you. You did a great job and protected Gotham in my absence, but something has gone wrong. You need help. Let me help you. As Batman fired a steady stream of fire at Batman, who stood there but covered his face inside his cape, Catwoman watched in horror as Batman was engulfed in flames. At first he looked like a blackened silhouette in the ball of fire, but as it began to rain and douse the flames, Batman stood erect and unharmed. Batman, I had been working on this tactical suit for some time. Your fabric technology really came into use. Suddenly, as Batman felt overwhelmed suddenly and used the grapnel launcher in his gauntlets to soar up the building and away from Batman. The people cheered, seeing the fake Batman run away. Batman followed him, then the others followed. Lightning struck and lit the night, and thunder roared. As Batman was running towards the clock tower, Nightwing begged. He's heading straight for you. Get your defenses up. She did, as she was told. Every window and door was suddenly shielded in heavy metal plates. Batman, seeing this, as he reached the tower, he growled in frustration. You dare to stand against the Angel of Vengeance? I am Batman. Led by Batman, they fought as Batman on the clock tower's balcony. Even as far as Batman was able to fight them at once. He was truly a worthy adversary in combat. However, he was not prepared for the smoke bomb that Batman set off in as Batman's helmet. He coughed and choked, then tore the helmet off. When he finally cleared his lungs, he looked up at Batman, who towered over him. Lightning flashed. And suddenly sanity came to Jean Paul. He looked at the Bat family, then at the armor he wore. All the blue paint was gone, the remaining was red metal. The Azrael suit, he had become the killer. He didn't want to be Jean Paul. I'm so sorry. Batman bent over. It wasn't you, it was the order and the system. I know someone who can help with that. We ready? Dr. Fate appeared in a bright light before them and introduced himself. Dr. Fate, I'm Dr. Fate and I have come to offer my help. I understand, as a youth you were brainwashed with something that takes control of you. Jean Paul, can you really remove it? Dr. Fate, yes, and you are welcome to stay with me as you heal. My wife has prepared the room for you. Jean-Paul turns to Batman. I'm sorry for everything, but thank you for being willing to help me even after all I've done. Batman, get well Jean-Paul and make a life for yourself. They shook hands, then Jean-Paul vanished with Dr. Fate. Batman turned to his allies and gave each of them an approving smile. Catwoman rushed over and embraced him, then kissed him deeply even as rain continued to pour down. Dick stuck around the clocked hour after everyone else returned to the Batcave. There Dick laid out everything that happened with Corey. How her parents came and told her it was arranged to return to Tamarin, where she would be married to a Tamarin prince. That it would bring peace to their world. Corey reluctantly agreed. Dick had asked her not to go and to stay, but her sense of duty to her world proved stronger than the duty to her heart. As friends, Barbara comforted him. A few days later, Selena pulled Bruce aside to talk to him. It was talk she had dreaded but knew must be done. She told him her feelings about when Bane broke him. How she feared losing Bruce and what might happen to her if she lost him. Selena, so I've decided to leave Gotham City for a while. Ever since you helped me start this new and wonderful life, I haven't really taken time to be Selena Kyle. I don't even know what it means to be Selena Kyle. Am I even making any sense? Bruce, yes you are. You need to discover who you are without me. You need some time for self-discovery. She held his face in her hands. Selena, you know this isn't goodbye, right? I'm coming back. Bruce, you just have something you need to figure out for yourself. I understand, and I'll be here when you get back. She smiled and kissed him hard. Selena, I love you. Bruce, I love you too. Later she would let the other know and say her goodbyes and promises of returning. And I promise you, reader, Catwoman will return. Far off in Blackgate Prison, Bane lies without his venom. These days he has no time to think about venom, for his nights are tormented by bat demons. One was made of metal and the other was dressed in darkness. In his mind this could mean only one thing. The Batman has returned.
Nightshade 475. He has 827 watchers, 402 deviations, and 198.3K profile views. Majin Lord. He has 474 watchers, 7.9k deviations, and 59k profile views.
Dipper pines from Green Ranger to Cloud Prince of Crime. Salutations DC fans and welcome to the story of how Dipper Pines went from a paranormal investigator to Clown Prince of Crime 2012. The events of Gravity Falls happened 2013. A therapist diagnosis Dipper with PTSD 2013 to 2015. Dipper suffers from his PTSD form. Being possessed by Bill Chipper 2016. Dipper Pines becomes Rita Repulsa's evil Green Ranger during the Green with Evil story arc begins March 2017. Batman teams up with the Power Rangers and is the Megazord with some help from Robin. The Boy Wonder defeats the Dragon Zord and Bat Story of how Dipper Pines begun as a paranormal investigator and ended up as the Clown Prince of Crime. 2012, the events of Gravity Falls happened. 2013,